Hello, 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 everyone. We are live at the Backhouse. Can I get a little bit of round of applause from our studio audience? And we have an amazing treat for you. It is the Dr. Karen Townsend who is here with us today. And you guys would have been more excited if you would have heard our conversation before. But we saved some of it for you for this live at the Backhouse. So thank you for joining us and tuning in. Live at the Backhouse is a marketing platform that highlights small businesses, authors, and various topics of interest. My name is Felicia Charlton, and I am your host. I'm also an author and a playwright and a coach. And so I would like to be the segment sponsor today. So I decided, since you were on, that I would be the segment sponsor today. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm super excited too.
Yes. So I knew you were coming, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to share some of the things that I had going on as well.
We'll do that so the audience knows, and we can be excited for you too.
Awesome, thank you. I'm the segment sponsor today, and as a segment sponsor, I am having a play coming up called The Death of a Lie. It's a stage play, and it's going to be at the Dayton Art Institute, November 16th at 2 p.m. I'm also having casting calls August 17th and August 18th. So if anyone out there is acting and you are a young African-American female, ages 9 all the way to ages 20, I am looking for you. So please look at the comments to find out more information about the Death of a Lie casting call that's taking place at the Dayton Metro Library downtown, August 17th and August 18th.
Yes. I heard the play is based on a book.
It is based on a book, and the book is called The Death of a Lie, and I'm also the author of that book. And the premise of the book and the premise of the play is making a mistake does not make you a mistake. And it talks about my journey from self-care, self-love, and learning how to be unapologetic with who I am today. So that, once again, is The Death of a Lie, casting call. I hope to see you there. I would also like to thank Derek and Tara Purnell, the owners of the Backhouse, your hospitality venue, and I'd like to thank them for providing this awesome, intimate space. So if you're interested in learning more about the Backhouse and what it has to offer, please leave a comment in the comment section, and they'll get with you and give you more information. But now I can talk about why we're really here. And we are really here to have the honorable, awesome Dr. Karen Townsend with us. Dr. Karen is here, and she's representing K Townsend Consulting and Sister to Sister. Yes. So can we give it up for Dr. Karen Townsend?
Thank you.
So I know a lot about you. I've learned a lot more in the last 10 minutes, but I would. And you have a beautiful smile. I would love for you to tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I am, as you said, Dr. Karen Townsend. I'm the president and CEO of K Townsend Consulting, which is an organizational development firm. And I work with leaders who understand the importance of creating inclusive environments and building strong teams, because I think when you empower people to be their best, they will do their best, they will give their best for organizations. And so often, organizations and companies will invest in products and processes and procedures, and they don't invest in the people. And when you invest in people, you will see productivity and profitability soar. I'm also a wife and a mother and a person who's active in her community. And while that gets me a lot of shine, it can also be very exhausting. And so I like to work with professional women who often feel overscheduled, overcommitted, and overwhelmed, to help them get over it. And for 26 years, I've been hosting the Sister to Sister conference here in Dayton. I have an amazing team. Some of my team members are here tonight. Give them a hand. And we are on a mission to empower 1 million women and girls. And I think so often women and girls don't get the encouragement and affirmation that they need. So what we want to do is pour into women and pour into girls. And it was so amazing when I arrived tonight. There were 2 young girls who met me and helped me bring my things in, and they were saying, "Oh, we really love this bag." And I said, "I want you to have it." And I think sometimes we don't ask for things because we don't think we can get them, but I believe you have not because you ask not. And those two girls expressed an interest in something that I had, so it was an opportunity for me to give to them. And I told them, I said, now you're 1 in a million. Didn't I say that to you?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think all of us have the opportunity to just encourage and empower and affirm and acknowledge. And so if that's part of something that I can do with my life, then that's what I want to do.
Wow. Okay.
Did that answer the question?
It did. It answered a lot of questions, and I have so many questions to come off of that. But one of the things that I want to say is the fact of just taking the opportunity to mentor on the spot, because a lot of people want to do what you do. You know, you are a person in the community who's been doing this work way before it got popular, right? We're going to talk about that as well.
Okay.
But you took an opportunity. You saw some young ladies, and just being who you are. You know, you didn't do it because you did it because it's in you. And so there's people who want to know, how do I do what you do? How do I create a business? How can I be a consultant? How do I empower women? And so with that opportunity to mentor on the spot, do you have more examples of things like that that people could do in their now?
I think that when you are trying to determine how to do something, sometimes it's more important to step back and ask why you want to do something. There's actually a very popular book out now called Start With Why. And I think if you consider, why is it I want to do this? I want you to be Felicia. I want you to do you. And so often we measure our lives using somebody else's yardstick. I don't want anyone to try to be me. And sometimes I think they see it as flattery. Oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. Well, I'm taken. So I want you.
I love that though.
I'm taken.
Yes.
But nobody can do you like you. Now, if there's a way for me to support you, to encourage you, to give you some words of wisdom, I am so happy to do that. And probably because when I got the idea to do Sister to Sister, I'll never forget there were 2 women in Los Angeles that were doing this big women's conference. And it actually toured. It went to different cities. And so I thought, I'll call them and ask them for some words of advice, some suggestions. And I called and I said, hey, my name's Karen Townsend. I'm in Dayton, Ohio, and I'm thinking about doing a women's conference. Can you give me some suggestions? And her response was no. And I thought, I don't understand. I'm not a threat to you at all. I'm in little old Dayton, Ohio. You're in Los Angeles, California. There's no competition. And I was really hurt that she wouldn't, I guess, support, acknowledge, affirm, offer some advice. And I decided then and there, any opportunity I had to share what I know, not just the good, but the bad and the ugly, to avoid you anytime that you might make a mistake or a misstep. If I can avoid that happening in your life, then I want to do that. So I think that's one of the things that we can do very easily is to share what we know, to encourage people. And I like what you said about mentoring on the spot. Everybody has the power to do that. We don't have to write a proposal or come up with a strategy, but if someone asks you a question and you know the answer to it, why not just give them the answer? Why not just support them?
I love that. I think that's awesome because I do see a lot of people who want to empower people, but they don't know how, and they're not watching, and some people just aren't listening, but there's things that they can do now in their now. So I absolutely love that.
Well, and I think the other thing that often holds us back is we see each other as competitors. I think little girls compete, but women collaborate.
I'm gonna throw my computer down, but yes.
And I don't have a problem with if you woke up tomorrow and said, I'm gonna host a women's conference. I'm not going to be upset about that. I'm gonna say, can I help you find a venue? Have you talked to any sponsors? Because there are so many women who need to be served. Karen Townsend can't serve them all. Sister to Sister can't serve them all. But maybe if you're doing a program and I'm doing a program, Tara's doing a program, Valerie's doing a program, we can serve so many women. When people don't want to share what they know, they come from, in my opinion, a scarcity mindset. That if I tell you how to do it, then it's going to take away from me. And I don't see it as that. I see it as we together having the opportunity to serve more people, to heal more people, to support more people. So any opportunity I have to collaborate, I want to do that.
Yes, and I can speak to that because I was a speaker at last year's conference.
Awesome speaker.
Yes.
Awesome speaker.
But more than that though, the way you did it was so amazing. I mean, because collaboration can be hard. It can be challenging because everybody has varying attitudes. People do things differently. But from the beginning, when I was presented with the wonderful opportunity to do it, it was just so easy. I can say this honestly, I haven't had a lot of opportunities to collaborate that are easy. Your level of trust, your level of organization, professionalism, and camaraderie is top of the line. And at the time that I was doing the conference, I had some personal things going on, and the women that work with you, they represent your brand. And that is so important. So I got to see for myself, not what I heard, but I got to experience it for myself. And it was absolutely, I haven't had an experience that parallel. And so your trust, you gave me a room, and then you had your sister-to-sister team come and glam me out and get me together. And then I didn't even have anybody there to help me. Then one of your members, Valerie Coleman, came in and she was like, count the books, get people done. I was like, this is amazing. And, it was just, I have never experienced anything to that level as a speaker, to be able to come in and be trusted with the material. You never saw the presentation. You asked me. I was like this, and she was like, "Girl, you grown." So I'm just saying, how did you get to that point where you can hand things over like that? Because I know that was my experience, but a lot of people don't know how to do that as women, because once we finally get to a place, it was a huge event for you. And the women that founded the event for you and your team, and you allowed those of us who were blessed enough to collaborate with you to just be. How did you get to that point where you could just let go of control?
I think just the genesis of Sister to Sister came at a time in my life when I was trying to figure things out. I was 29, about to turn 30, and I thought I was having a midlife crisis. But now that I'm 56, I know that was my practice crisis. I've had the real one. I've had the real one since. But I went to Lillian Johnson, who's one of the co-founders, and I said, wouldn't it be great if we could have a day just for us when women could come together and talk about the things that are important to them, just a day. And she said, well, if you want to do it, I'll help you. And Charlotta Taylor, who was a graduate student at the time, she came on board, and the three of us just thought about what would it be like for women to come together. And we didn't have a blueprint. I told you I called a woman in California. She wouldn't help.
She said no.
She said no. That would be a no. And we just kind of figured it out on our own and kind of felt our way through. And when I say felt it, that is what we do with Sister to Sister. We feel the love, and I think we draw people to us who believe in our vision. When we do Sister to Sister, there has never, in 26 years, there has never been a call for speakers or a call for proposals. It's somebody has met somebody that says, I think she would be great for Sister to Sister. I think she would be great for our sisters, because that's what we feel like. If you come to Sister to Sister, you're not a customer or a client. You are a sister, and we want you to have an experience that we would want our sisters to have. So there's no magic formula. It's a feeling, and we want everybody to walk away feeling good.
Well, I think we dance until our feet hurt. I think we laugh. I know we cried, and then we celebrated. And so before speaking at the event, I actually attended the event, which was amazing. And I was going to come back anyway. So I just encourage everybody to really understand what Sister to Sister is about, and to take a minute to pause and to practice self-care, because that's something that you talk about a lot. And can you tell us your perspective on self-care? Because I see you, Dr. Karen Townsend's put together. You've been doing this work for a very long time. You're polished, you're professional. So tell us about self-care. And I think that has a little bit to do with your book as well.
Right. Well, my mantra is self-care is not selfish. And so often as women, we do so much for so many, and we don't do for ourselves. And then if you do something for yourself, people make you feel guilty, and then you question it. Even this year's theme, the theme for Sister to Sister this year is Choose You. And when I mentioned that to someone whose opinion I value greatly, I said, I've come up with the theme, and it's Choose You. And that person said to me, don't you think that's selfish? And I thought, it's selfish for me to take a day for me, but it's okay when I'm running on empty, serving everyone else, when I'm meeting everybody else's needs but my own, that's a recipe for disaster. And for those who register and come to VIP Day, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, because living that way, running and doing and being for everybody else but me, led me to the verge of a nervous breakdown. And I don't want anybody else to have that experience. So I do believe self-care is not selfish. On September 21st, we want the women to say, I choose me unapologetically, because if you don't replenish yourself, if you don't put your face mask on, you can't serve anyone else. And you are worth it, and you deserve it. And we want to say that continuously to the women in our community.
I think that is an excellent message, because a lot of us, like you said, speak that out to other people, but when it comes time to invest in ourselves, to protect our peace, to actually practice self-care, then we stop. Because we're like, well, I could use that for 1,000 other things other than something that's only for me.
Right. Well, and I think as women, we will invest in the external. A sister will buy a pair of red bottom shoes, but she won't invest in what would make her happier or healthier or whole. And sometimes it's difficult, because you talked about Dr. Karen Townsend, all polished and professional. If someone had seen me about an hour ago, it would have been a whole different story. And I was telling somebody, I often feel like, once you get the face and the outfit and the hair, it doesn't always match with who I look like at 7 o'clock in the morning. And a friend of mine said, you have to think of it like a commercial. Like when you see the Big Mac on the commercial and it looks all good and juicy and fresh, that's not always the Big Mac that you get when you go to McDonald's. But you do want to put your best face forward. But I also want to say to people, if you see me in Kroger, I might not look like this, but I'm still the same person, and I'm going to encourage you and give you some words of affirmation. And that's what we all need to be reminded to do and to be. That if your face is perfect, great. But if it's not, you're still perfect, just as you are.
We do need to hear that, especially in this age of seeing everything all the time is flashing this, slay this, beat that, makeup, everything. And like you said, I enjoy it as well, but we don't want to lose the human part of ourselves.
Right.
So tell me about, speaking of not losing the human part of yourself, tell me about your book.
So the name of my book is It All Started When I Stopped Using Lotion. One Woman's Journey from Chaos to Calm. And lotion is a metaphor. One of my team members is bringing me.
Yes.
Thank you. This is my book. Lotion is a metaphor for the little things that you do for yourself. And for me, it was lotion. I'm a person who's always loved to take long bubble baths. And one day I got out of the bathtub and I didn't put on any lotion. And
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Go on.
Because I said I don't have enough time. How much time does it take to put on lotion? Not much, but I decided I didn't have enough time. And then the next day, not only did I skip the lotion, I skipped the bath. Now I did take a shower.
I got you.
I did take a shower. But I took a shower instead of a bath because I said it would save me time. And over the course of the next several weeks, I stopped doing so many other little things that were important to me. I would give myself a manicure and a pedicure every Sunday. Stop doing that. I would shave my legs, at least once a week, and shave my arms. But it was fall, so I said, nobody's gonna see my legs, nobody's gonna see my underarms. I'm just not gonna do it. So no lotion, no bath, no manicure, no pedicure, no shaving of the legs. And my girlfriend really picked up on the fact that I was changing and being more stressed and impatient and kind of mean. And she said, we need to go to the spa. We're gonna do a spa day. And over the course of that day, we had all the services. We had a manicure, a facial, a massage, and the last service of the day was a pedicure. And the gentleman who was working on my feet, he said, you got this callus on the bottom of your foot. Do you, when you take a bath, I said, when I take a bath, I don't take baths. I don't have enough time to take a bath. And then it was like I went and rewound my whole life, and I realized over the course of those weeks, I'd stopped doing all those little things that were important to me, and it all started when I stopped using lotion. So I would ask you, and I would ask the viewers, what is your lotion? What is that little thing that you used to do for yourself but you don't do anymore? What's that bit of self-care that you've given up because you're doing everything for everybody else? When did you stop choosing you. Because I stopped using lotion and I stopped choosing me. And if we are going to be our best and do our best, if we're going to be at the top of our game, personally and professionally, you better put on your lotion.
That's right. I love
You
that.
better do those things that feed your soul and bring you joy.
You know, one of the things that you said that was awesome to just in that comment was, you know, your friend noticed. So, and you talk about sisterhood and empowering 1 million girls and women. And so, talk to me about what mindset did you have to be in to listen? Because sometimes as women, you said because you stopped using lotion, you stopped taking care of yourself, you know, you were a little snappy. Did I say it lightly? and I can relate to that. So, what did it take for you to say, you know what, I'm going to listen to her? Was it her approach? Was it where you were? And to women who have a hard time, who might be going through something, and a girlfriend is trying to support them, what do you suggest for them?
Well, my girlfriend, Valerie Coleman, told me today that today is National Girlfriend's Day. And we have to be open to hearing from our girlfriends when she says, girl, you look cute. But we also need to be able to listen to her when she tells you that, you know, you got some spinach in your teeth, or your wig's on crooked, or that's a promise my girlfriends have made. We made to each other that when we get old, we'll tell each other if our wigs are on crooked. But
That's important.
you have to be open to hearing from others, and we have to be able to say things in love. And she said it to me in love. So can I tell you the truth in love? Because I want you to be better. And we like to believe that we have it all together, that we have all the answers, but we have to hear wisdom from others. I was working on a project with a colleague years ago, and he pulled me to the side and he said, you never played sports in high school, did you? And I said, what are you talking about? I was a cheerleader. And he said, no, that doesn't count. You were never on a sports team. I said, why would you say that? And he said, because you don't play well with others. Now here I am, a business owner, I'm Dr. Karen Townsend, I'm doing it. But he said to me, you don't play well with others. And I had to sit in that. But you know what, Felicia? He was telling the truth.
Wow.
Because as a solo entrepreneur, it's usually me and me. I'm the vice president, the president, I'm everything, and I only had to answer to me. But when I worked on this project with someone else, I had to hear someone else's ideas, someone else's opinions. And he called me out because I wasn't playing well with others.
Wow.
And even though I didn't want to hear it, it helped me grow. So can we get a message from someone else, even if it's hard to hear, because it will help us grow. That's part of what Sister to Sister is about. We used to do it just, you know, a couple of people, but now I have an entire team.
Yes.
And we are bigger and we are better because it's not just me trying to figure it out, but it's the voices of others. It's the skills and the talents that other people bring. It's ideas that help us present a conference that serves women. And we don't have to be solo agents. I believe that no one succeeds alone, but you can surely fail by yourself.
Ooh, yes, I'm a clap for that. I think that is absolutely awesome. So can you give me a little bit more information just about the conference, the date, where it's going to be, and what can we expect this year?
The conference is going to be on September 21st. We will be at Sinclair Community College from 8 until 4-ish. It's going to be an amazing day. We're really pleased that Premier Health has come back as our presenting sponsor. Our other sponsors are AT&T, Sinclair Community College, Bob Ross Auto Group, University of Dayton, and CareSource. The Mustard Seed Foundation is also a part of supporting us, and they have for several years. It will be a day of empowerment. We've got 4 amazing speakers. We've got Sierra Leone, who people know locally as a poet and activist. Laura D. Dias is coming in from Cleveland, Ohio. Bridget Flaherty, who is a local storyteller, is going to be with us. And also Haretta Tucker, who is a natural health practitioner. So if a woman needs a day just for herself, a day where she can be pampered and loved on and supported, they should be a sister to sister. Registration is now open, and for all the viewers of Live at the Backhouse, we have a special promo code. The first 10 people who register at sister2sisterconference.com will receive a discounted price on their registration.
Wow.
So just for watching Facebook Live and supporting the Backhouse, it will be a benefit to the viewers. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the VIP night, that's separate from the actual Sister to Sister conference. Tell me more about that VIP experience this year.
So VIP Day is an extra investment, and it's for a smaller group of women, and we'll have Friday to be together. We'll start with a VIP luncheon, and we'll have a pre-conference session, and it's going to be very impactful, very intense, and the focus of that day is a question, and the question is, why aren't you choosing you? The theme is choose you, but sometimes before you can choose you, you have to understand and do some self-reflection to understand why you aren't choosing you. So for women who want a little bit more, that opportunity is available as well.
Well, I'm going to be there. So get your tickets quickly because I'm going to be there, and I encourage everybody. My life has changed ever since going to that Sister to Sister conference. And I would say one of the major benefits of it is the sense of community for women, because you have to step out and take the chance to get to know somebody else. You can't always expect people to come to you, and you have to present yourself as open, but how awesome is it to do that in an opening and welcoming atmosphere, and that's what you provide at the conference.
Well, I think it's important because have you ever been to a conference and there are a bunch of people in the room and you just sit there and you don't meet anyone else? So I don't believe that interaction happens by osmosis. So there's always something that we do to get the women up and moving around and interacting with each other, because we want you to walk away feeling good about who you are, but we also want you to connect with other, not just like-minded women, but life-minded women who are doing the same things in their life as you. And that is what we believe Sister to Sister is about. That's our story, and we're sticking with it because we're on a mission to empower 1 million women and girls.
Well, I want to, before we close, I have one more thing that I want to ask you about. Well, two more things. I'm going to say Dubai.
Oh!
Yes, I can't let you forget about Dubai, because I was there when you were challenged to say, hey, when we're going to Dubai? You said, y'all want to go to Dubai? And then now you're going to Dubai. So please share some more information about that.
So Sister to Sister is taking a delegation to Dubai in March 12th through the 20th of 2020, and it was really an outgrowth of being challenged by Sierra Leone, who's been a speaker at Sister to Sister, and I was just kind of talking about this dream, this thing on my bucket list, and she challenged me to envision it, to close your eyes and think about what it would look like. And I mentioned it just kind of off the cuff, and the day I mentioned it, 27 people said, if you want to go, if you're going, I want to go, what do I need to do? So as of this afternoon, I spoke with the travel agent, we have 57 people in our delegation. So if there are people who would like to join us, go to sister2sisterconference.com, fill out the contact page, and we'll get you the information.
Wow, that is just, I mean, talk about something starting small and then growing beyond the border. That is absolutely amazing. So you have more information there at sister2sister.com.
Sister2sisterconference.com.
Sister to Sister Conference, which will be in the comments correctly.com. So before we wrap up, I heard that you like Prince.
No, I don't like Prince. I love Prince. Present tense, not past tense, present tense.
Love. So talk to me just a little bit about Dr. Karen Townsend's love for Prince, because I tried to talk to you about it a little bit before, but I think I was going left and you had to bring me back. So where does this Prince love come from, and how do you reverence him today?
I have loved Prince since I was 15 years old, and I am Prince to my core. So much so that I'm kind of snobby in my love for him, because when people say, oh, I'm a Prince fan, I go, before or after Purple Rain? And if they say after Purple Rain, I say they're not truly a Prince fan, because it's like Johnny come lately. Oh, you're a Prince fan in the building, okay?
She's a diehard.
Yes. I love Prince since the second album, and the the only reason I didn't love him from the first album is I'm from a really small town, so I didn't know about the first album. But ever since the second album, on board with Prince. I love Prince. I told my first daughter that he wrote the song, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. He wrote that for my daughter, Saran. And he wrote Beautiful, Loved, and Blessed for my second daughter, Kaylin, because we were here.
So what is it? He's writing songs for you. You still love him in the present tense. What is it about Prince?
I can't explain it. It's a feeling. It's just a connection. It's inexplicable, but it's real.
Oh, I believe it's real. Like that's not up for discussion. That's not up for discussion whether or not it's real. But your sister to sister team came together last year and got you this very special surprise and gift. But before you tell us about that surprise and gift, what is the promo code for the conference, or how do you want to do that?
If they go to the website, sistertosisterconference.com, put in promo code LIVE, L-I-V-E, get it live, put in promo code LIVE, and they will see their discount pop right up.
All right, that's awesome.
Thank you for the reminder.
Absolutely. Your teammates don't play. How about that?
Right.
But back to more important things. With Prince,
Mm-hmm.
okay, how do you still reverence Prince today?
On my Spotify account, I have my own Prince playlist of my favorite Prince songs. I am married to the #2 Prince fan in the world. I'm #1, but my husband is #2.
Okay.
Prince has been a part of our relationship since we first got together. One of our first dates was to a Prince concert. After I had surgery on my foot, I went to the concert with a boot on my foot. Today in my home, I've got Prince posters, probably 5 feet by 4 feet.
That's it.
I hosted a Prince birthday party after he passed away to benefit. It was a benefit to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. But anyone who knows me knows I love Prince.
Yeah,
That's just it.
So, what gift did they get you?
So at the Silver Celebration, my team purchased a VIP tour of Paisley Park. And it was so funny because we were giving door prizes to the conference attendees, and all of a sudden they stopped for this special announcement, and I thought, okay, I just kind of stepped back, and they said, and this gift is for someone who loves music. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And a particular type of music, oh, that's interesting. That started in Minneapolis, and I'm like, wait a minute. And they talked about this gift for Prince, and they didn't say it was for me, but I knew it had to be for me. And I started to run around the entire perimeter of the venue, like the Holy Ghost run, like screaming and crying. So I'm the best team in the world. That's all I can say.
And it takes a while to build a team, doesn't it?
It does.
So how do you know when you have it?
Back to the feeling, everyone on my team, they weren't even recruited. They just believed in the vision and they presented themselves, and everybody has a special role that they've adopted. There's one person who's in charge of the vendors. There's one person who's in charge of the speakers. There's one person who's in charge of door prizes. There are other people in charge of registration. There's somebody who's very special who is in charge of Dr. Townsend's purse and keys because I was forever losing my purse and keys. But everybody has a role and it is theirs. They embrace it. They fall into place. We probably should have some type of standard operating procedures manual, but everybody just knows. And I feel blessed because I have another friend. She says she doesn't have a team, she has a tub.
I know about a tub. I know about a tub. Yeah.
But I have a team. I have a team.
Yes, they are amazing and they support you and they make you feel so welcome.
They do.
They're always there. Like you can't turn around and not see somebody on the sister to sister team who's willing to help you, ready to point you in the right direction, and most importantly, ready to serve.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You recently partnered with someone to do a collaboration for a young ladies event. So I know you talked about expanding your reach and continuing to collaborate. So what was that like for you? And what was it?
Part of our Silver Celebration was to make a commitment to do 25 acts of service. So since our conference last year and leading up to this year's conference, we've been very busy partnering with other organizations that serve the community. We do a lot to serve women and we really didn't have a venue to support girls. So one of our activities this year was to partner with young ladies aspiring to greatness. They did a mission trip to Chicago, so we sponsored one of the young women and provided scholarships to support what they were doing. But we've done so many things over the years. Over this year, we partnered with a local dentist and collected dental supplies for an organization in Nigeria called Wellness Smiles. And we take so much for granted in the United States, but there are children in Africa who've never had a toothbrush.
Yeah.
So we partnered to do that. We've done some things with the Y, we've done things with the Mustard Seed Foundation. We still have about 7 more acts of service that we need to do. So if anybody's got a good idea, put that in the comment page so sister to sister can go out and continue to serve our community.
And you also recently partnered with Dr. Crystal Phillips as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
she does a program called Black Girl Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So we were a part of her back to school conference because there's some messages that you need to get and there's some information you need before you go to college. So Crystal was a visionary behind that initiative, and we were able to partner with her just a couple of weeks ago. So that was great.
So you might need to, I think you got a lot more on the list that you might be forgetting.
Probably so, but that's what service really should be about. We said 25 acts of service because it was 25 years, but we just want to serve. Whether we write it down or not, whether we get an article in the newspaper, someone claps for us about it, we just want to do it, and that's what service really should be about.
And that's one of the things too, a message that you promote that people need to hear. It's not about being seen, it's about serving. So if you want to empower, if you want to embark on the journey, or if you're already in it, one of the major things you can do is to serve. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
I think that's why we're here. And I think the more you serve, the more you give, the more happiness and satisfaction you get from life. Like, remember when Oprah gave away those cars?
Oh yes, I remember. I did one.
And she was going, and you get a car, you get a car. I don't have the means of Oprah to give everybody a car, but just think if we could all give what we could give, how good it would feel.
Yeah.
So regardless of whatever you have to give, it doesn't have to be a $30,000 car. It could be a word. It could be a tote bag that some young ladies see and thought was kind of cool. If you could just give what you could, if everybody did that, just think of the impact that we could make.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited about the conference. I'm excited about talking to you. I'm just excited about the mission and the vision moving forward because it's like this big snowball that's just wrapping up more people and empowering more people and leading more people to self-love. And that's exactly what you wanted to do. How does it feel to go from vision to actually carrying this out? When you get that moment to sit down and say, I got with my girlfriends and we came up with this idea like you talked about earlier, and now we're going on year 26 with major sponsors.
Right, so I'm about to cry and I don't want to mess up my mascara, but
It won't. She's pretty good.
Last year, there was a woman who had never been sister to sister before. And at the end of the day, she came up to me and she said, I just want to let you know. She said, I want to let you know, for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm in the right room.
Wow.
And for somebody to come to our conference and feel like for the first time in her life, she was surrounded by people who understood her, who affirmed her, who appreciated her, who loved on her. That's what Sister to Sister is about.
Wow.
So that makes me feel great, even though I'm crying.
That's okay. I mean, but it's important to still feel.
Yeah.
I think that we lose that as women.
Yeah.
I know I've lost it before. Like everything has to be this and that. So to see, I think that's one of the things that draws me to you. And I had this whole thing that I'm going to say, but it has to be after the cameras are off. Because I don't want to take up too much time. But I think one of the things that draws people to you is your realness. Mm-hmm. And so after we put down doctor, we've got to pick it up because you earned it. But after, but that's right. But after we put it down, you allow us to see a human side of yourself. And I don't see that from a lot of other people who are in leadership position you know, I know you've just gotten invited to be on a board, which is phenomenal. We can talk about that. But I think one of the things that connects women to you and the team and the people you surround yourself with is your ability to be real, not to keep it real, but to be a real person.
Can I just say this? I think a lot of times people look at you or me or anybody who's got a platform and they see the finished product, and people applaud the finished product. People always applaud it when you climb the mountain and put the flag in the snow and everybody's like, yay, I made it. But nobody is chronicling the journey. Nobody's walking with you when you're climbing the mountain and the rope slips and you fall down and you tear your jeans and your legs bleeding and you're going, mama,
Yes.
why did I? Nobody's chronicling that, but that's a part of the story. And all I can be is me. And you talk about this realness. I remember I was in the room with a bunch of people that my grandmother would probably call high muckamucks. Like everybody was important. And I was just talking about my story. Like, I'm not from Dayton, but if I had grown up in Dayton, I would have grown up in a place like DeSoto Bass. Because, you know, I'm Dr. Karen today, but I grew up as a poor black girl living in the projects, being raised by a single mother, on welfare, eating that good government cheese, which was the best to make macaroni and cheese. But anyway, so I'm talking to these very polished, important professionals, and I was telling my story. And someone in the room said, no, you shouldn't, don't tell that, you know, just be Dr. Townsend. And I thought, but that's part of Dr. Townsend's story. And I believe I have a responsibility to tell the whole story, because I want that girl who's living in DeSoto Bass to know I used to be her.
That's right.
And if I used to be her, maybe one day she can be somebody like me, not me, because I'm already taken.
That's right.
But she can grow up to be the best version of herself. And if all we do is show this part of who we are, then people don't think they can be in the seat. They don't think they can be hosting live at the Backhouse. They don't know that they can write a book that can be turned into a play. They don't know that unless we tell the whole story. So.
Yeah, you tell the whole story, all of it, and I absolutely love it. So this is just a glimpse, this is just a taste of what you're going to get at the Sister to Sister Conference. There's a masterclass session. I can't wait to learn what it's about, but I always truly enjoy the interactive masterclass session. I enjoy just the peace that exists there and the ability to walk in the door and just take it down a notch, just calm down, just relax. And just be ready to be fed into and poured into. So if you want to be a part of something like that, you need to be at this Sister to Sister Conference. But once again, get your tickets fast, because I'm getting mine as soon as we're done with the broadcast, as soon as we finish. But this has been absolutely phenomenal. So is there anything that you want to leave us with?
I don't want you to miss the opportunity to attend the conference, sistertosisterconference.com. I don't want you to miss the opportunity to save some money by using the promo code LIVE, L-I-V-E. And I want you to spend the day with a group of women who want to be their best, who are willing to be vulnerable with one another, who are willing to keep it real so that they can be real.
Yes, and we don't need to miss that, especially in this day and time, in this generation. So thank you, Dr. Karen Townsend.
Thank you.
Yes, it has been a privilege and a pleasure. This has been Live at the Backhouse. I am Felicia Charlton, your host, and I'd like to thank Derek and Tara Purnell for having us here. Have a wonderful, phenomenal evening, and make sure you go to sistertosisterconference.com immediately. Thank you, and have a good night.